Right, if this game is all about slaying gods, why the heck don't we have a Godslayer build? Well, now we do, and it's devastatingly fun. We have the Godslayer's Greatsword plus 10, of course, with its destructive Ash of War, the Queen's Black Flame. Naturally, we have a Godslayer's Seal plus 25 to cast our 3 Black Flame Incantations, and we have solid Talismans, armor, and Flask of Wondrous Physick. We're also using oil pots for a bit of fire damage boost, and we have our buff incantations as well. We're allowing ourselves a rune level of 200, with Faith and Dexterity being our 2 major stats. With all of this, we are slaying everything from god status downward. My fellow Tarnished, I give you the Godslayer. Okay, let's start with a more in-depth look at the gear so we can wreck anything and everything. If you could leave me a like and subscribe, that would be great. Thanks. So, first up, we have our main weapon, the Godslayer's Greatsword plus 10, and we'll be having a lot of fun with its unique skill, the Queen's Black Flame. Now, it does have a bit of a long wind-up animation, but once you start spotting enemies' punish windows, you will be doing a lot of punishing. Thanks to patch 109, Colossal Swords have increased attribute scaling. In our offhand, we have the Godslayer's Seal, plus 25. You can get the Godslayer's Greatsword in a chest behind the Godskin Apostle boss in the Divine Tower of Caelid. You can get the Godslayer's Seal in the stockroom in Stormvale Castle behind an imp statue Foggate. You will need 1 stone sword key. In our armor slots, we have the Raging Wolf head and chest piece, and then Blaidd's gauntlets and greaves. This puts us at 51 poise for PvE, keeps us at a medium load, and looks pretty Elden bling. You can get the full Raging Wolf set from the Volcano Manor questline, and you can get Blaidd's set once you finish Ranni's questline and you return to Ranni's Rise to fight a hostile Blaidd. I'll link a video right now to Blaidd's set and Ranni's quest, and I'll put both in links in the description. Now then, the Talismans. We have the Shard of Alexander boosting our Queen's Black Flame skill by 15%. We have the Phlox Canvas Talisman boosting our incantations by 8%. We have the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman boosting our physical defense and PvE by 20%. And we have the Fire Scorpion Charm boosting our fire damage by 12%. You can get the Shard of Alexander from Iron Fist Alexander when beating him at the end of his questline in Crumbling Farum Azula. Phlox Canvas Talisman can be received by Gowry when he's crying over Millicent. I'll pop a link in the description on how you can get this one. The Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman is found in FAL Brace of the Haligtree, found on a chest on an elevated platform inside the large building in the northeast, guarded by several pests. The Fire Scorpion Charm can be found up the rampart on a wooden platform to the west of Fort Blaidd within Mount Gelmer, link in the description. Alright, in the Flask of Wondrous Physick then, I'm simply using the Flame Shrouding Cracked Tear to boost our fire damage, and then I'll use defensive tiers like the Opaline Hard tier, or a stamina tier like the Green Burst Crystal tier. I'm still wondering what is best for the Flask of Wondrous Physick, so please let me know your thoughts in the comments. The Flame Shrouding Cracked tier and Green Burst Crystal tier are dropped by the Erdtree Avatar, found at the Minor Erdtree in Caelid. The Opaline Hard tier is dropped by the Putrid Avatar next to the Minor Erdtree north of Fort Vareth in Caelid as well. As for incantations then, we have Golden Vow boosting our attack and defense, Flame Grant Me Strength boosting our attack and fire attack. We have Black Flame, which scales with your seal and does 2.5% of any boss's maximum health, and you can charge it for an extra 30% damage. We have Scouring Black Flame, again causing damage over time and can be charged for an extra 22% damage. And then we have Black Flame Ritual, which deals a decent 20 stance damage as well as fire damage. Golden Vow you can get in Mount Gelmer at the Corpse Stench Shack. Flame Grant Me Strength, which you can get in Caelid around the back of Fort Gale. Black Flame, this incantation is unlocked for purchase after giving a Godskin prayer book to Brother Corhin or Miriel, Pastor of Vows. Scouring Black Flame is dropped by the Godskin Apostle here on the map. Black Flame Ritual is in the Spirit Caller Cave, dropped by the Spirit Caller Snail that summoned the Godskin Apostle and Godskin Noble in a consecutive boss encounter. I will put links to all the above in the description. Before we move on to the stats, we need to mention our oil pots. Oh yes, we are allowing ourselves some consumables in this one. Throwing an oil pot at an enemy will boost the fire damage they receive, so you'll need the following to make them. The crafting kit from Carley at the beginning in the Church of Ella. You'll need cracked pots, which you can purchase throughout the game from various vendors, link in the description. You will need the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook 17, which can be purchased from the Abandoned Merchant in Siofra River for 1000 runes, link in the description. And you will need melted mushrooms to combine with your cracked pots to craft an oil pot. These can be found growing in the Siofra River and Deep Root Depths. Okay, it's time for the stat spread. I started with the Vagabond class. We have Vigor at 60, Mind at 35, Endurance at 27, Strength at 34, Dexterity at 57, Intelligence at 9, Faith at 50, and Arcane at 7. And like I said, we're allowing ourselves rune level 200. I mean, why not, eh? We deserve it. Let's have a look at combat next before we showcase some bosses. Now, it's pretty simple. We can spam the Queen's Black Flame on the Godslayer's Greatsword, and we can switch between two-handing the sword for the strength boost and one-handing it with our Godslayer Seal to give ourselves access to our Black Flame incantations. These can be great for keeping distance between us and the bosses and chip away nicely at enemies' health bars. You really can just keep switching it up depending on what you are fighting. I just love melting bosses' health bars with this build. Right, let's have some fun against some bosses, shall we? Before we do, big shout out to Ashen Fest for the build, legend. And you can come and join us on Wednesdays and Sundays for live streams. Okay, here we go. And there you have it, guys, the Godslayer. Let me know what you think of this Elden Ring build in the comments. What would you do to change it, and what build would you like to see next? All the best, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!